I became a 33-year-old freshman. 2019 started off probably the worst way possible. I was working a night shift at Maverick at the time. After my shift, I went home and I was about to go to bed, and I got a phone call from my oldest brother, Tim. He informed me that his son, Nate, had committed suicide. That January, over the course of that January, we had 2 funerals for him. I worked the night before the first funeral. And during that night, there was a attempted robbery. Within a week, I put in my 2 weeks notice. I was just like, I can't do this job anymore. We were all deciding that we were gonna move to Nevada. We have another brother that already lives in Vegas. And they wanted to get away from the area and everything. So I got a job specifically to save up money to be able to move down there. And it was just like a typical call center job, but everything was falling apart as I got there. Like 2 weeks into training, the entire management team for that company quit. And then things started happening with a lot of people's pay, and I was just like, I can't do this. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to look for another job. And my brother Alan, for years, had been saying, you should go back to college. It was just finally, there was enough change happening that I was like, you know what, okay, get me an appointment with the English advisor and the history advisor. And if one of them has a program that sounds like something that I could pursue and be passionate about, that I would do it. Talking to the English advisor, Robbin Anthony, she went over the structure of the different emphases and how creative writing is actually extremely needed right now, because for decades it was don't major in English. There's nothing you can do with an English degree. So everybody goes for tech degrees. And so now there's a shortage of English degrees, and everybody needs a creative writer. Everybody needs someone to run their social media, to write their websites, not design their websites, but to write the stuff. And I was like, that even if I didn't get into the career path that I actually want to be in, which of course, as any English major will probably tell you, is they want to be an author. There's a lot of luck involved in becoming a successful author, but just being in a career where I can use my writing talents, even if it's just to write training videos for a company, would be exceptional compared to what I had done before. In the fall of 2019, I became a 33-year-old freshman. For about a year and a half before that, I had been walking with a cane because I had a pain in my hip. We went to the ER and they moved me in real fast, and they found a herniated disc in my lower back. The surgeon came in and explained what was happening, and he said the pain that I'm feeling is literally the nerves in my right leg are dying. The herniated disc was apparently so old that there was no way to clean it. And so he performed, as I understand it, an extremely rare procedure called a laminectomy, where they actually remove the back piece of your spine. The effects of this and manipulating the nerves, I actually woke up paralyzed from the neck down. And it took several days before I could move my arms again. What happened when I was finally able to move my fingers and control my arms and everything is I had this moment where I literally just said, at least I can write. And this happened in the middle of the fall semester. And over the course of my hospital stay, I began working with my professors to figure out how to continue the classes. They all were really receptive to working with me. And of course, this was before COVID, where everybody was used to working online. I don't know how I managed to get like 2 A's and a couple B's. Like, it was kind of affirming that I was doing the right thing, because I was able to pass these courses, not just with skating by at like a C, but I was actually able to excel in some of these classes while still dealing with this massive surgery where I had a surgeon, several nurses, and a couple of my physical therapists recommending that I drop out to focus on my recovery and my recovery alone. So here at UVU, I've actually been able to get published in some literary magazines, specifically Touchstones and Warp and Weave. And I actually have another story coming out this semester in the new issue of Warp and Weave, so that should be exciting. UVU is a place for finding and pursuing your passions.